Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy Mike. This video today is kind of a serious subject for me. Hold on, y'all. Dang, if I could get this back just a little bit. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I might be a little cut off today or whatever, but okay. Now, as y'all know, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And I know people that aren't from Detroit have probably heard the horror stories. Believe those. Don't believe the little cute stories you hear about, oh, how Detroit is coming back, and oh, it's this, and oh, they're doing this, they're doing that. No, they're only doing that downtown and only certain areas of downtown, because not all of downtown is fully together. And the city of Detroit and the little like sub parts of Detroit are not doing well at all. I'm from there. I know. I can talk about it because I'm from there. I don't let nobody else disrespect my state. We can have a conversation about it, but don't get too mouthy about it, because that's where I'm from. That's where I grew up. So I'm a product of it. But I lived in a very nice neighborhood in Detroit. Outer Drive, East Outer Drive, and even West Outer Drive. At one point, those were like premier areas to live in. I'm not saying this like I was better than anybody. People I went to school with thought I was rich. No, I was just a fortunate kid. My mother worked at Ford tractor plant for 10 years. My father told her to quit because he didn't marry her for her to be working. He married her to take care of her. And though sometimes their relationship was not perfect, we never really went without. Even when he was laid off, he made ways. So I lived in a nice house. It was 3 bedrooms. We had 4 bathrooms. One in the basement worked for years. When my grandma lived with us, I think this might have been before I was born. I was real little because I don't remember this. But my dad's mother lived with us. The one in the basement worked. And the one behind our back door worked. And the 2 upstairs, which was me, my brother, and my sisters, worked. And the one in my parents' room worked. Okay, but this video really ain't about that. So I was reading something online about, well, a friend of mine sent me this picture of this post of some girl who was at the mobile gas station on Van Dyke and I-94. Now I'm trying to stop it, Tangerine. Now I'm trying to remember, is there a mobile gas station on I-94 and Van Dyke? I know Kettering is on I-94 and Van Dyke. I think there's a gas station over there, but I thought it was BP. I haven't been in Detroit in a couple years now. Really only about a year and a half, but in that area I wasn't in a total lot, even though I knew that area, but I don't remember a mobile gas station being there. I'm from there. I lived there up until I was 33. So, but for some reason I don't remember a mobile gas station there. I think I remember a BP gas station. I could be wrong. Anyway, some girl, woman, whatever, was like, she was there pumping gas, and she said the pump was going like ridiculously slow. Now, some gas stations do that. I think that's to control how much gas you get, honestly. But she was like, she went in to talk to the man that worked at the gas station about it. And he was like, really? It's going so? And she was like, yeah, ridiculously slow. So she left back out, came back out, a white van pulled up. Yeah, like a Pedo Pete van pulled up. She said one guy came up to her and was like, gotta be real careful out here. And she said another guy was coming up to her and he had a thing of bleach in his hand. So she said she quickly got in her car with the pump still in her and got the fuck on. I don't blame her, because sex trafficking, especially in a place like Detroit, is running real rampant. And them Detroit city officials don't give a fuck. They can act like they do. All they care about is lining their pockets. Now, that's what part of this video is about. But I'm really frustrated because, okay, now y'all know a lot of schools in Detroit closed. A lot of them just closed. Finney closed, but they turned that into something else. Kettering closed. It's just been sitting there. That's one of the main reasons for this video. Talk about Kettering. And a school called Rose. It was the Rose Elementary or Rose Middle School. That closed in 2006. Kettering closed in 2012. Now, The city of Detroit is selling both these schools as a whole for $2.6 million, saying that they would have sold Kettering by itself for less than that if they hadn't held on to it for so long. First off, from what I've been told by people in my age bracket that have gone to Kettering or went there and maybe transferred somewhere else, that the school was falling apart. I will never forget, somebody told me literally tile was falling from the ceiling at this school, which goes to show you, one, how they don't care, and where's that 100% of the profits that's coming from the lottery going if it's not going. They say it's going to the schools, but I don't see it. And if y'all put up one more charter school, I hate charter schools. Charter school ain't nothing but a glorified public school for children that the public school system no longer wants. You know how I know? I went to a charter school. Though it was a charter school that was geared towards getting you ready for the medical field, well, once you got in your junior and senior year, that's when they really started those courses. But I was told by somebody that worked there that this is a school kids come to when the Detroit public school no longer wants them. And I was told this by somebody else too, that this is what charter schools are really for. I believe it. I don't doubt that at all, because I know how public schools get down. I've had friends that friends that have gone to public school, and everything you hear negative about public schools, 99.9999999% of it is true. So, to Kettering, I heard this building was already, and this was when kids were still in school. Like I said, people from my age bracket. I do know someone who went to Kettering that's older, but it's somebody that I know knows them. I don't know them enough to be like, well, how was it when you went there, like building structure wise and things like that. So they're selling both these buildings for $2.6 million and saying they would have sold Kettering for way less had they not held on to it for so long. My thing is, even though the building was, probably in dire need of repair, you still could have sold that building for way more had y'all not let it sit since 2012. It's 2019. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. That's 7 years that building sat there for Pookie and Ray Ray and them to come in there, destroy the walls, steal the pipes, the furnace, the water heaters, boiler systems, or whatever's in that building. That gave Pookie and Ray Ray and them ample enough time to come in there and destroy that building, bust out all the windows. It's a wonder nobody has destroyed the K that they're trying to preserve, which I get that, because it has some historical value, because Kettering was built a long ass time ago. So I get it. Detroit has a lot of historical value, but the historical value of Detroit is so belittled from the foolishness that goes on in Detroit. There are so many ignorant people in Detroit. Like I said, I'm from there. I can say this. I have experienced it. And being a gay man from Detroit, it's really bad for you. I'm not saying everybody there is like that, but it's so many like that. It's so hard to decipher. Now, I have been places in Detroit by myself and with my friends where people have said horrible things about me. And I done been a few places where, like, because, I dye my hair. And one time my hair was red. I couldn't remember exactly what color red it was at the time, but this lady asked me, she was like, "That is so cute on you. What color is that?" And I stopped for a minute. She was like, "Oh, you don't want to tell me?" I said, "No, it's not that." I said, "I don't mind telling people what colors I put in my hair, because I feel like if I can inspire somebody and they want to try it, go ahead, I'm going to tell you." And I told her a color, but when I got home, I realized it was wrong. I told her ruby red, but it was crimson red. And I forgot, because ruby red is a little more orange, but it was crimson red. And I had never saw that lady again. I'm pretty sure she stayed right in the area around there, but I didn't see her again. If I had, I would have told her, I told you the wrong color last time. I thought it was ruby red, it was crimson red. But anywho, I say that to say, not everybody's bad, because she was like, "That is so cute on you. I like that. I want to do my hair that color." I wish I had remembered right on the color that it was, because I used to change my hair color so much that it was hard to remember. what I had in. Unless like I just did it, but I had it for a while then, so I wasn't sure of the exact color. But it was crimson red by Adore. If anybody wants to dye their hair red, crimson red, it's a semi-permanent. Crimson red by Adore is a gorgeous color. Anywho, that ain't what this video is about. But that was just to go to show you that there are some people in Detroit that are decent, hardworking, respectful people. Because you'll see neighborhoods in the city of Detroit, you'll see house after house, the house burnt down, windows busted out, stuff like that. Then you'll see a house that look like it shouldn't be anywhere in the vicinity of the city of Detroit. That's because that's the one person that may be older or whatever, don't want to move or can't move just because maybe they own their house. And you know, it's hard for them, but they are able to keep their property looking nice and they're able to upkeep it. But when those people go that are in these nice houses, if you get anybody to move in them, who's to say a good, respectable tenant is going to move in if somebody was to acquire the house and sell it? Because it's a lot of boo-boos and fools in Detroit that are moving to nice houses and tear the shit up. Trust and believe you me, I have seen it happen personally from people I know. And I'm not putting people out there, but I have seen it happen. So because it's like sometimes these days kids just don't respect shit, and a lot of times it's a lot of older people there that are ignorant in the city of Detroit. But a lot of times it's these young kids with the ignorant parents that's not teaching these kids. You wouldn't want nobody to come and bust your windows out, vandalize your house. You wouldn't want nobody to steal from you, but yet you're gonna go steal from somebody else. You're gonna go vandalize this vacant school building that, you know, maybe if somebody wanted to open another school, they could have rebranded Kettering, reopened it, had another school, because it ain't like the city of Detroit can't use another school because you got people dropping out left and right. I'm a product of dropping out myself, but I did attain my diploma online. Only reason why I personally dropped out was because in school it had got too much. They had put me back in the 11th grade after putting me in the 12th grade. Then I got all the way to the end of that 11th grade year, and they were talking about putting me back again. Excuse me? No. Had I stayed at East Catholic, I would have graduated. My grades there weren't great, but they were passing. My grades at Hurt Academy were shit in the toilet. But anywho, so this purpose of this video is to say that the elected officials in Detroit, and I voted for some of these people before, because some of these people I thought were really good, like Kwame Kenyatta. I voted for him. The only one that I like that's still on the board is Chantel Jenkins. I like her. I haven't heard nothing negative about her. And please, if you got anything negative to say about her, don't say it, because I haven't heard anything negative about her. Everything I've heard about her is positive. So her, even though I'm not in the city of Detroit, but like if I was still there, I'd vote for her, because I hadn't personally heard anything negative about her. But Kwame Kenyatta, it's like when Monica Conyers was there with her old arrogant self. Who else? The fat lady with the braids. I found out she wasn't shit. Is Martha Reeves still a part of the council? Because I found out Martha Reeves wasn't really about shit. While she trying to perform places with a big old belly and these tight dresses on. Yeah, but the people in the city, like, who is the mayor now? I'm not even sure who the mayor is. Is it still? Now, if the mayor is still, why I can't think of his name? The white man. Y'all know who. If you live in Detroit, you know who, or at least who the mayor was. I don't know if he's still the mayor, but I actually liked him. A lot of people didn't like him, but I saw his vision, and like him, he was the one that started that whole thing with trying to get these houses torn down. He is the reason why some of them houses are coming down, but you can't tear them all down like you just think you would, because there are protocols that need to be followed. If people own a house that's literally just the front of it standing and the rest, because the rest of it has burned down, I think there should be certain allowances made for that vacant, unsafe infrastructure to be torn down, regardless of whether you have the person's permission or not. Seriously, I know it costs a lot of money, and I know the city is in trouble, But if you want to revive this city, you have to do something. Because the saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So if you don't spend some to get things in order for Detroit to start looking like something again, for Detroit to be, for people to actually want to move there, for jobs to be prevalent there, and things like that, things need to happen. They need to pay the police officers what they're worth, because I can't blame the police officers for not really doing their job. I ain't saying that all of them don't do their job, but what the fuck, bro? What the fuck is up with y'all throwing up? What the fuck? I'm sorry. My animals are... my cat just threw up. My dog threw up on the bed. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Aside from that, because this video really got me mad, and that just pissed me off. I'm glad he got off the bed, because if he had threw up on the bed, I'm telling you, I'd have dropped him out the window. Not really, I'm just saying. But anywho, yeah, like these elected officials, like the city of Detroit is falling by the wayside, and it keeps falling by the wayside because no one cares to try. I'm not saying that everybody. There are some people there that care, but when you only got 5 versus the 100 that don't care, the 100 that's out here vandalizing and robbing people and stealing people and killing people and snatching people up for sex trafficking and shit like that. Excuse me. And don't think that it's just like people from Detroit doing that. There are, I hate to say it, there are foreigners that come to places like that for specific things like that. And I'm not throwing everybody under the bus or mentioning anybody specific, because like people that own gas stations and stuff, it's very well possibly some of them. But from the neighborhood that I grew up in, the people that worked at the gas stations that were close by my house, it's been a lot of the same people there for years. And some of them switch, and it be their kids that come in, this, that, and the third. But those people I knew. And all those people, they knew me, they knew my family, they knew my father, my mother, my aunts, my uncles. So we was good with them people. I could go to the gas station sometimes, I'd be $1 or something short. They'd be like, you in here all the time. Go ahead. You know, so you get a good rapport with people, but you don't burn your bridges. And like, there's an apartment building around the corner from where I used to stay. Right next door, right before this store called Roseberry Market. Now, Roseberry Market has been a store that is dear to my heart for years, because the first owners, John and Emily, I don't know their last name, but John and Emily. John has passed on. Emily, I'm not sure about. When my mother was alive, for a few years, we used to keep in contact with Emily. We kind of lost contact or whatever. So I don't know if she's still living or not, but I'm going to knock on wood. Hopefully she is, and hopefully she's doing well. Like, they were like family to us. Like, they would cash my mother's personal checks. Like, if mama needed a couple dollars and it wasn't no money in the bank, they would take her check, hold it, and then cash it around the time where, you know, she knew some money was going to be in the account or whatever. Now, that's good people. Now, they were foreigners, but they were good people. And the people that came there after them, Ice went to jail for some reason. I don't know why, but like, they were good. People that came after them were good. Like, they were good. But the whole story was to talk about the apartment building before it. And it was like an apartment building after, or was it a house? Anyways, it was something there after it. They tore that down. And then there's one across the street from it. And it's a park across the street from it where I used to go to as a younger kid. My sister took her kids there. Once saw a hypodermic needle on the ground, and she never took her kids back there again. So, the apartments across the street, I believe they're closed down, but the ones that's right before the store. They're not closed down, but they don't have water in there. They don't have electricity, gas. They don't have none of that. But people stay in there. Now, how they had that stuff was somebody that owned the house, the big, I believe it was a duplex. Duplex is top and bottom, right? Yeah, I think that's it. Let me know on the bottom if duplex is top and bottom, or if that's a what you call the other one? It's duplex, or I can't think of the other one. It was just in my head. Anywho, say it down below if I was wrong or whatever. So yeah, like nothing works in this place, but they were running like multiple cords to this one house. So whoever was paying that bill, I'm pretty sure they were in the game. My brother knew who owned the house, and I may have known this person because my brother had a lot of friends, but I don't know, and I'm not gonna put people's names out there, no way, because these people, like I said, they knew my brother, and they fuck with me because of my brother, because my brother will fuck them up for trying to fuck with me. So that's that. But yeah, so like this building, like if somebody wanted to, somebody could come in, renovate it, make people start paying rent. They ain't gonna like that, but it's an ideal thing to me. But I know there are a lot of people there in the game. Y'all know what the game is. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that in Detroit. Just homes then there are homes that were once beautiful that people may have had to move out because they lost their homes, foreclosure, things of that nature. Especially on the street I used to stay in, so many beautiful homes that have just fallen by the wayside. Now, my godmother, when she moved, she actually still owned her house, but she had to move. She didn't have to. She could have stayed there, but she was just tired. But she still owned the house, but somebody ended up setting the house on fire. I found out who it was. I'm not going to put him out there like that, but yeah. Somebody brought the house, gutted it, everything, and somebody's living in it now. I don't like the way it looks, though, because they tore down all the bushes in front of the house, so it looks odd. Because when my godmama said there was bushes all in front of it, she had a nice long cement porch. The rails needed to be fixed or whatever, but still, she had a nice long porch. We used to go over there, sit on the porch, or good stuff. Used to hang, chill, have good times. But somebody else is living in the house now, but I don't. And then they got I think they're trying to make an awning, but it's been looking like this for years. They have not fully made the awning yet. So I'm like, if you're living here and you did all that, why don't you finish this awning? And the person has a work van that's in the driveway, so I'm guessing that they may be in construction or something. So, so her house is fine. Now the house next to her, my neighbor, he just passed a year or so ago. Bill, his house, I don't know if anybody's in it or if his brother that lived next door to him, who also passed. I don't know if the wife has a hold to it, because Bill's wife passed some years ago. She's such a sweet woman. Her name was Pam. She was so sweet. I love Pam, and she was the neighborhood gossip. But I love Pam. And if she didn't know something, she knew one of us knew something, so she would ask what was going on. I really love Pam. And Bill, he was always nice to me. Other people may have had some slight issues with him, but he was always nice to me. Growing up or whatever. And then his brother Tom stays across the street. So I don't know if his brother Tom maybe has ownership of, his home, or if his other brother Clyde, wife, have ownership of the home. She has a really pretty name too. I can't pronounce it or remember it, but I remember hearing it, and my mom was like, "Your name is just so pretty. It's like such a unique name." But I cannot think of her name. I wish I could find her son on Facebook so I could ask him, "What is your mama's name?" So, because my mom used to always say her name was so pretty, and I want to know her name, but I can't think of it. But anywho, so my block that I used to live on, my house. I was like, let's see, had the lady with the blonde hair at the corner. Then Tom's house. He had I can't think of them people named either. These were some of my favorite neighbors. Anywho, it was the neighbors after that. Then you had Fox House. You had my friend Lauren house. Fox House used to be this old white lady named Anime that stayed there. She was such a nice lady, a little detached from reality, but she was so nice. She used to give us candy and stuff. And a lot of times it'd be stale and stuff that she would give us, but she was so sweet that she was old and just sweet. And her husband had ended up going to a facility, but she still stayed in the home. So she was a beautiful lady. Anywho, so after that, then it was my friend Lauren's house. Then it's my house. Then there was a man named Otis' house. Otis, mama said, was crazy, and he had different women over his house every night. Otis went crazy, burnt the house down. So then there was a vacant lot. It was my friend Misha's house, which is owned by her aunt, but it's vacant. And let's just say my friend Misha could be living there now, but we'll move along from that. So that house has kind of fallen by the wayside, not by any choice of my friend Misha or her family who used to live there. It wasn't their choice, because I'm pretty sure if they could still be there, they would have. And then every house after that, one house where my friend, friends of mine used to stay right after my friend Misha's house, was abandoned for a while. Somebody moved in, gutted it, fixed it up, did all that, knocked the wall down, expanded the room. Beautiful. It was nice when my friend was staying there, but they really just, the lady that moved in, she worked that out. Then my friend Keely's house, which is I think the biggest house next to mine on the block. Yeah. Her house, then where my friend Lane and them used to stay, somebody else lives there now. They had been moved. My friend India's house, then Mr. Robinson and his wife. Then the people after him, I don't know who they are. Then it's a vacant lot. Or no, it's one house. Is it one house after that? Then a vacant lot. Y'all, I just said I can't remember all name, but anywho, but the ending house on that block has been vacant for years. We have had people move in there and only stay there. These one twin boys, I remember, their family moved in there. I don't think they were there for 6 months before they moved out. Another guy that lived there with his son, they may have been there a year. When I tell you, because the owner of this property, who owns a lot of stuff in Detroit and Highland Park area, doesn't take care of his shit. The only thing I think he really takes care of is this place called Hats Galore, because it's still open and running. But like his houses, when I tell you, this house, you used to be able to see through the back of it. Somebody came in there and hammered plywood up there, and then this fool had the nerve to put a for rent sign. My friend's mother, my friend Lauren, her mother, I told her that it was a sign on the house for rent, because we went down there cleaning. She was like, we're going to go down there, we're going to clean up. I said, okay, I don't mind helping with that. So a bunch of us went down there and we cleaned it up. And I said, you see the sign right there? She was like, who's going to rent this? I said, I don't know. I'm wondering the same thing like you. I don't know who's going to rent this. The house is so dilapidated. Like, I know the inside of it has to be. I've never been in this house. Always wanted to go inside this house. It's the one house. I have a thing for abandoned businesses. I don't go in to vandalize them, though. There was one house me and my friends went into and we wrote on the walls. But we didn't break nothing, bust nothing up, nothing like that. And yeah, that was wrong. We shouldn't have wrote on the walls. But we just wrote like our little nicknames or whatever, this, that, and third. But most of the time we would just sit in the house and chill. Other than writing on, the walls, we didn't vandalize it. It was another house that we used to go into that we used to just chill in, because it was recently abandoned. But the house on my street that we used to go into, the guy was like, this guy from down the street, my friend owned this house and da-da-da-da, and y'all gonna tear it up. And he was walking up as I'm walking across the street. I'm like, run up. If you talking, run up. You gonna run up and get your ass whooped. He ain't run up, because he didn't know what was going to happen. And it wasn't just me. It was me and my friend. So he was going to run up and get done up. Period. Needless to say, his friend, whoever owned the house, lost the house and somebody else moved in. So, but yeah, it's a school. They're right before that house. It was Rosa Parks. Now, then it was called Duke Ellington. And then I believe they turned it into like an activity center. And I don't know if they revamped it, because I heard somebody set it on fire. So that's another thing that happens in the city of Detroit. There's also a school across the street from it called St. David, which has been abandoned and vacant for God knows how long. Like, now it's a brick building, so you can brick can always be gutted out and revamped. It's just sitting there. Just sitting there. Been sitting there abandoned for years. My sister and my brother went there. As a matter of fact, I think they left the school. Well, my sister graduated. But my brother left because they were closing the school. And actually, Rosa Parks used to be St. David High School. But then they closed that and turned it into Rosa Parks. And my mother and father didn't want us to go to public school, so they put my sister in an all-girls school called Dominican. And me and my brother went to St. Jude. Now, once tuition became too much for both schools, my sister made the ultimate sacrifice and finished out at a public school. She went to Denby High School, which I like to call Dunby. And my sister was like the oddball out of that school. As a matter of fact, I think her friend Delisha ended up going there as well. And my cousins went there as well. My cousin Shalise went to Denby. My cousin Nicole went to Denby. So I got family that went there. But my sister, in her stint there at Denby, she was like the oddball out. Because like she would turn in homework. She would actually be listening in class. And people thought she was weird. I didn't think it was weird for people to do homework. Me, personally, I was never great in school. Let's put it that way. But I'm not dumb by any means. I just hated homework. But my sister would like do her homework and like pass tests and stuff. Like she was like, and she said it was kind of like the oddball because not everybody there was doing that, especially in the classes she had. So yeah, that just goes to show you the mentality of the people in Detroit. It's like going from generation to generation. And that just goes to show you that there's a lot of buildings and stuff and homes and stuff in Detroit that just fall by the wayside because nobody truly cares. Because if somebody truly cared, no matter how much of a deficit that state was in, they would do whatever needed to be done to fully get that city reviving. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy task, because it damn sure is not. But people need to put the initiative forward to actually have something done and stop putting it forward and waiting and waiting and waiting and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Oh, we started this. We're going to put it off and put it off and put it off and put it off until you have buildings like Kettering that's just sitting there getting vandalized by Pookie and Ray Ray and them. So you have buildings like St. David just sitting there for years, way longer years than Kettering been closed. And I wanted to get in that building, so we tried to get in that building so bad, me and my friends, because I really wanted to see the inside of this building. We tried to get in. This man that worked at this little used mattress shop was threatening to call the police, so we couldn't get in. We weren't going in to vandalize it. I just really wanted to see the inside of this building. I've seen pictures online, because, some people have gotten in and taken pictures. The gym floor is all warped and ceilings falling and stuff like that. But I still wanted to get in to see this building. A couple of my friends made it, and I was almost in. And this motherfucker hated it because it was an open window in the back. Now, y'all, being from a place like that, it makes you tough. Not saying everybody from there is hard, because a lot of people bark is worse than they bite. But it makes you tough, and it makes you think about things. And me personally, I don't ever want to go back. And I pray for all my people that are there, that one day maybe they can move and experience other things in life instead of just staying stuck. Because to me, if you're in Detroit, you're stuck. Like, seriously. Because there's so much more out here, so expensive. The city of Detroit is not what's up. It's not booming. and the population keeps declining. It just keep on. It goes from here, down, 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 down. It just keep going down. Who's moving to Detroit? There are some people that will never leave Detroit. Some people, they just have that hope for it. I'm sorry, I didn't have that hope. I wasn't finna stay there and excuse me, and be miserable. Now, I got a chance to move away from there. Now, when I left Detroit, I was really only going on a road trip to help my niece with her son because my sister didn't want her being by herself on the road with her son. So I was supposed to be going back to Detroit, but my sister was like, I got to get the money up to get you your plane ticket back. I'm like, okay, fine. She was like, so you just going to be here for a couple weeks? I'm like, okay, fine. So, came to one point where my sister was like, okay, me and Angel want to talk to you. And I'm like, she was like, he didn't do anything. Don't worry. I'm like, okay. She was like, yeah, no, you're fine. She's like, we want to offer you to stay, but you have to continue going to church with us. That's not an issue. I don't mind going to church. I love going to church. Not an issue at all. Like, we want you to find a job. Cool. I was looking for one in Michigan. So if I can find one here, awesome. And don't watch any adult movies. I don't mean like rated R movies. I mean like, those type of movies. Fine. They don't make me survive. I won't die if I don't watch those, So, or whatever. I got it. That was my chance to move away. And I was filling out job applications, had a few interviews or whatever. One job came through from a member of her church. He worked at Kroger on Hilton Head Island. And he was able to get me in the produce department. Hence, I got the job. Then I moved to Savannah, and my sister was coming back and forth, taking us to work, this, that, and third, or whatever. So I got a chance to move out of Detroit, and now I'm no longer in Savannah either. I'm now in Washington State, not D.C. And I love it here. I like it a lot. Now, my boyfriend loves it here as well. I don't know if one day maybe we'll move somewhere else. But if not, I'm perfectly content here. But I know one thing, Detroit is not an option. I don't care how cheap you can buy a home there. It's not an option because it's just too much going on there. And I feel for the people there who maybe want to get out and can't because, because jobs there don't pay shit. So, my thing is, if you can go somewhere and experience something else, do that. If you can make it out, or some people have good jobs. Like I have a cousin who works for Chrysler. I got a friend who works for Ford. I got a couple other friends from there that work at factories. Good paying jobs. There are some, but most of the jobs there don't pay shit. So, if you're lucky to have something like that, and you can, one day save up and afford to move, I say do it. Go out and experience stuff because I honestly think being there and having that Detroit mentality, you keeping yourself stuck. It's a flat out point blank period. But y'all, this video has gone on long enough. I think I've said, I know I could say a lot more about Detroit. It could get super negative. But as much as I talk about it, that's still where I'm from. I love where I come from. I don't want to go back there because I just don't see the future in it. But that is still my home. And I will go toe to toe anybody over it. And people that are from there know where I'm coming from because I can say what I want to about it. Now we can have a discussion about it and you can say some things, but don't get too mouthy. Because that's still where I come from. I still am a product of Detroit. But I don't like to show that side of me. But, it can go there. But anyway, y'all. Excuse me. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this video with anyone and everyone that you know. We are trying to make something happen on this channel. I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep on saying it until it happens. Because the good book says, if you speak it, it shall be so. Alright, y'all. Deuces.